From Demon Souls to Elden Ring, the franchise has a strong following from casual to superfans. Whether you call them Souls games, FromSoft games, Soulsborne, Sekiro Soulsborne Ring, one thing is agreed upon: everyone loves the bosses. You can find countless videos of YouTubers ranking their favorite FromSoft bosses, whether on a tier list, in ranked order, or other ways. But what if there was a tool to analyze and aggregate all of these rankings from different people to determine which one is truly the best? Well, now there is. I introduce to you all DarkSoulsBossRanker.com, link in description. To demonstrate just how intricate this website is, I'm going to use it to analyze the tier lists of some of the veterans of the Souls community. Today, that veteran is Mythy Moo. Myth's tier list video covers all the games from Demon Souls to Elden Ring, which is a great dataset. Unfortunately, Myth did not use the official Dark Souls boss ranker, so the tiers he uses don't match up perfectly to the official site. The first thing we need to do is to translate them. The official site goes from F to S and has a F- and S+ for those truly exceptional bosses. The tier list Myth uses is almost identical, but is missing the F- tier. However, listening to Myth's commentary revealed that within the E tier, there seems to be a drop-off in quality between Scorpioness Najka and the Skeleton Lords. Take a listen.
Scorpion Nika, it's a cool design. We'll do D. Skeleton Lords, not a good fight. It's too low D.
I think the best place to make this divide would be here, but Myth explicitly said that Myth of the Baneful Queen has to be in at least D tier because of the matching name, so we'll make her the cutoff instead, meaning everything below and including the Rotten is moving down one tier, leaving us with this as our bottom 4 tiers. With all the tier lists submitted, we can get into the statistical analysis. Myth has 3 bosses in S+ tier: Ishin the Sword Saint, Genichiro Ashina, and Owl Father. And on a personal note, I do agree with him that Ishin and Genichiro are the best 2 FromSoftware bosses ever. He had 4 bosses in F- tier, being the Red and Blue Dragons, Ancient Wyvern, and Bed of Chaos. It seems there's nothing Myth hates more than seeing a dragon and not being able to fight it conventionally. His tier list distribution peaks at C and gradually declines to the opposite extremes. This is almost a perfect normal distribution, which I find fascinating. What that means is Myth would probably say that the majority of bosses are all about the same quality, and the farther you go from average, the less common that type of boss is. His overall quality by game shows that Sekiro is way ahead of any other game, being just a hair away from low S tier. Elden Ring and Dark Souls 3 fell into a distant second and third. Myth rated single enemy bosses almost 2 tiers higher than multi-enemy bosses, so it's safe to say he does not like gank fights. He rated DLC bosses higher than non-DLC, multi-phase bosses higher than non-multi-phase, and humanoid bosses higher than non-humanoid, which is something he himself said he noticed about his own tier list.
It fucking is too. It's above Gale for me. This, Father Gascock, and Gammon are the ones that make me solidify my belief that all these humanoid fights in these games are the best.
The other binary factors didn't show a very large difference, so he doesn't have a strong preference in either direction for dragon bosses versus non-dragon, duplicated versus unique, or optional versus mandatory. I ran an analysis based on his 4 strongest preferences to see what bosses fit his usual type: single enemy, DLC, multi-phase, and humanoid. Taking a look at his tier list, the 7 bosses that fit those requirements are indeed very highly rated on Myth's tier list. The lowest of which being Lawrence, which is on the borderline of being humanoid in the first place, making me think perhaps I should reclassify him as non-humanoid. Based on his high rating for DLC, humanoid, and Elden Ring bosses, I predict he will be pleased with the boss quality from the Shadow of the Erdtree DLC, especially Mesmer. Only time will tell how he and the rest of the community feels. Until then, leave a comment down below on which YouTuber you would like to see a breakdown of next, and don't forget to submit your own tier list on DarkSoulsBossRanker.com. Thanks for watching.